Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is episode 169 of Childcare Rockstar Radio, featuring Little Luminaries. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited that you are here for this one. This is a special episode with my new friends, Sunflower and Marissa, founders of an incredible little company called Little Luminaries, and I cannot wait for you to meet them. We talk all about mental health and the world that we are in today, but it's a brand new take on helping children have better tools for mental health and for mindsets, for growth, and understanding how to express their feelings through the world of animals and toys vis-a-vis totem cards, animal totem cards that were created by Sunflower and Marissa at Little Luminaries. They're amazing, beautifully crafted cards that are helping children find the tools, give them a new tool set for how to talk about and feel good about themselves in this world. And these ladies have a big vision. Let me tell you, their vision is to positively impact the mental health of 1 billion children, 1 billion children. And I'm very excited to help get this mission vision started with them and for them. So we're going to learn all about them and how they founded this company and different products that they're creating under the Little Luminaries brand and how they're growing their business and so much more. But before we do that, I'd like to share with you that this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio is brought to you in part by Live Oak Bank. Growing your childcare business savings just got easier with a high-yield savings account from Live Oak Bank. Building your savings isn't always easy, but with a Live Oak online savings account, they've taken on some of the hard work. With competitive interest rates from 4% APY, FDIC insurance, no monthly maintenance fees or minimum balance requirements, and a fast and secure connection to your other bank accounts, you can enjoy a simpler way to save. At Live Oak, they reward you with remarkable service and some of the most competitive savings and CD rates. To open a business savings account that benefits your bottom line, visit liveoakbank.com/rockstar. And I'm definitely going to check that out because I've been looking for a high yield savings for the business and for personal. So liveoakbank.com/rockstar. This episode is so inspirational. These two young women partnering together in this journey to bring art and beauty and mindset tools for mental health improvement to children all around the world is just an amazing thing. And we dive into so much on this episode, including a whole new way of communicating that I didn't even know about. Some of you guys might know about this. It's called NVC, Nonviolent Communication Practice. And it's a whole new way to communicate around areas where you have emotions, feelings, potential conflict, trying to communicate your point of view versus the person that you're working with's point of view. And it could be, I think, really game-changing for our world, for children and adults alike. So I am diving into learning more about NVC, and we talk about that in this episode. And you'll also get a coupon code towards any of Little Luminaries products, including their beautiful card deck. And I show and tell that on the podcast. That's coming up with coupon code ROCKSTAR at 25% off. And you can learn more about them at littleluminaries.com. So I really want to get these beautiful mindset tools and mental health toolkits into the hands of as many children and adults as possible. So help me out. Check it out. But most of all, most importantly, we're going to learn more about the beautiful Sunflower and Marissa right here on Childcare Rockstar Radio. Let's go. Welcome to the podcast. I am very excited to introduce you to two amazing ladies today. These are the founders of Little Luminaries, Marissa and Sunflower. How are you today?
Fabulous. We're so excited to be talking with you today.
I am very excited as well. Where are you right now?
I'm in California.
Yeah.
Okay, Marissa's in California.
We're bi-coastal. So I'm in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And we got our coast covered.
That's awesome. So, and we met in Asheville, North Carolina, or close to it. And I learned about your amazing product for children, and we're going to get into that with Little Luminaries. So tell us more about it. I don't know if one of you want to pipe in and tell us more about the reason that you founded Little Luminaries. How long have you been in business? Just more of the story of it.
Absolutely. So Little Luminaries came to us because, well, number one, we both have a huge passion for mental health. And I think that's from our life experiences. Me as a mindfulness coach, and also having some pretty heart-aching experiences of losing people that I love to suicide. And so from a very young age, I was aware that there was a mental health thing going on. And that really sparked my personal interest of like wanting to show up and support humanity so that people could actually love themselves. And so, as we know, we all just, navigated a pandemic, and that actually amplified the mental health crisis that has been going on for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny. So Marissa wound up calling me one day, and I was feeling like I was like supporting adults and helping them break through their limiting beliefs, and seeing what a difficult thing that is for people that have been looping negative thought patterns for 20, 30, 40 years. It's so hard to change the way that we think sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in this place before she called me of really wanting to shift and support kids, because I felt inspired that they have these amazing minds, and they're so malleable, and they're little sponges. And I felt that if we could get them tools right away, that would be so much more powerful than me working with an adult to, work through all the gunk that they've collected.
Right.
And so Marissa wound up calling me, and she had a dream. She's a teacher. She had a dream and was like, "Oh my goodness, I had this dream that okay, I created an animal affirmation deck, and I feel like we're supposed to do this together." And it was so cool because at the time I had been creating animal affirmation jewelry. So I was definitely in that world of like animals and affirmations and the power of the mind when we use this positive thinking tool.
Right.
And as soon as she made the call and told me her idea, I was all in. And
Wow.
we just hit the ground running. And I've gotten to learn so much from her as a teacher because she's working with kids every day. And, obviously when you're starting a company and you're diving into these new topics and you're learning, I learned that between ages 1 and 7, our brain is actually growing the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the most powerful times to instill positive thinking, because if a child grows up and from the beginning of life, they're saying things like, "I am lovable like the alpaca," or "I am resilient like the lizard," "I'm courageous like the lion," they are actually programming their brain, wiring their neural pathways to believe these amazing thoughts. So, yeah, Little Luminary, that's really the core of what we do, is we create mindfulness creations, products that support the child in having all the tools from the very beginning so that they can grow up and be harmonious, whole humans.
Yeah. That is amazing. Now, Marissa, tell me more about the children that you teach. What ages are you focusing on? And tell me more about your history as a teacher.
Yeah, so I've been in special education for the past decade and have recognized a lot of similarities in terms of the population I've been working with, having struggling really with resiliency and finding confidence in themselves to show up authentically and to really celebrate the things that make them so unique. So in working with Sunflower, we both found that, wow, whenever we're giving kids tools to celebrate who they are instead of changing the parts that don't fit in the box, we're just seeing so much more pride and authentic celebration in themselves. And since launching Little Luminaries, I've become a mom. And so I have two kiddos now, a preschooler and a 7-month old. And getting to use the deck with them from literally day one, I'm already seeing how impactful it can be in helping kids to really feel excited about who they are and how they're showing up and
Mhm.
having hard conversations whenever things feel scary or feel overwhelming, having the language to be able to share and navigate that.
I love that. And I'll just, since we're talking about the cards in the deck, I'll just show it off on the camera. And this is the artwork is incredible. So tell us a little bit more about, what were your visions in bringing this to life in terms of, getting it right, getting the artwork, getting the components. This book is beautiful. It's fun. It's super creative and really it's a product of beauty. So tell us more about it.
Thank you. Yeah. So
Beautifully.
we've actually hand painted every single card in there. There are 45 animal affirmation cards, and we really tuned into which animals we felt like kids would be able to get excited about. Children and animals have this really special relationship where it feels like very approachable for kids to get excited about learning about animals. So the deck actually combines trivia and academic curricular knowledge
Hmm.
about animals with a lot of emotional um, topics, a lot of different
Yeah,
languaging. Actually, it might be fun. Can we pull a card for you today?
Or
sure.
maybe let's have her pull a card. There's
Yes.
a deck right there. Shuffle
All
them
right, mix
up.
them up.
Pull a card.
We'll pull a card. That's fun. So we'll do that in a minute. I want to learn also more about your backstories. So you're a teacher and you have been for probably most of your professional life, Marissa, and now
Yeah.
a newer mom of two. And
Mhm.
Sunflower, tell us more about, so you're a mental health coach, mindfulness coach, and
Mhm.
you're in North Carolina. And is there anything else that you want to share with us? I was going to have you guys also share a fun fact today with the audience, something that they can get to know you better on the personal side. So, Sunflower, do you want to go first while I'm
Yeah.
shuffling? I'm shuffling away while we're talking.
So I feel like a pretty multifaceted human. And one of the things that lights me up the most is creating art. So I think of myself as an artist. I think we're all artists.
Mhm.
Um, and so I've always been connected to my art. I had a jewelry company for a while, which I had mentioned at the beginning, which was creating the art for all these different animal pendants and then burning it into this beautiful sustainable wood. And yeah, and then I think what inspired me to really step into mindfulness coaching is going on a deep dive myself and collecting all the tools and and then starting to watch transformations happen in who I was and how I felt about myself and how I felt about the world in general and it really being such a powerful journey of self journey and I had a lot of friends come to me and be like, "Wow, I feel like you're doing some good things. Like, what are you doing?"
Right.
And I had some friends that were coaches and they inspired me to step into that realm because I felt like I was doing it anyways.
Hmm.
Like I was sharing all these tools and then I was hearing how they were impacting my friends and so I wound up stepping into that for a few years and it was so powerful and it's such a gratifying thing to be able to support someone. Of course, they need to be receptive, right? But
Sure.
they're looking for the tools and they're wanting to shift and they're wanting to feel better. I feel like people can make the most tremendous impact on their own life by what they choose to do and how they choose to think. And so, my big passions are supporting mental health, supporting humans to really thrive and get out of the loops that sometimes people are stuck in. And then of course, like painting. Like I'm over here. I was actually painting all morning because I am pregnant and I'm bringing in my fourth baby.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm painting an elephant for her room, so I can probably give you a little
Oh my
peek.
God, how fun. Beautiful. Wow, you are really a talented artist, Sunflower. Oh my God. That's
So
gorgeous.
yeah, so I've just been lucky to really make time for the things that I love and
Yeah.
the things that are supporting me, financially. And yeah, feel really grateful about that. So that's a little bit about me.
That's exciting. When is the baby due?
Oh my goodness, March 2nd. The countdown is on. I feel like
Yeah.
6 weeks left. I'm like, oh my gosh, my
Yeah.
whole world is about to shift and change. It's
Yes.
pretty monumental experience to have a
Yeah. And this
child.
is your first baby?
This is my first baby, and
Yeah.
my husband and I were trying for 4 years.
Wow.
And I feel like, it's like when you're in it, you're like, why isn't this happening?
Yeah.
And cursing the universe.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like the timing is actually divine. It's like divinely orchestrated. It's all perfect.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like it couldn't be a more perfect moment to bring in, to expand our family.
Great. I
Yeah.
love it.
A little girl, Zahara.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic. Beautiful
named
name.
Zahara.
Love
So,
it.
so
All right.
sweet.
And Marissa, is there anything else that you want to share? A fun fact or anything else?
Yeah, I also wanted to touch on something that Sunflower didn't mention, which is something we like have such a profound mutual love of is supporting nature and getting really tuned into how we can best support Mother Earth going forward and
Yeah.
building a lot of knowledge within kids since they're the future. They're going to be taking care of our planet much longer than we'll be around. So helping to teach them more about sustainability and how we can live more harmoniously with our environment. So yeah, that's another area that we continue to just like get excited about when we're composting and seeing other kids making art out of leaves and just being so creative in the world and recognizing the beauty within nature is
Yeah.
something that we just like loved chatting about as well. A fun fact. Well, this is a funny fact. Sunflower and I started trade showing this past year. And so we've been really busy on the trade show circuit, sharing our products, getting to make new connections and network with different people and different businesses. And the most exciting, fun way that we got to marry the play and the work that we get to do is like, I shouldn't say work, I should say like that we get to do all of
Yeah.
the fun challenges. We are represented by a toy company group, and they in their trade show room they actually have a speakeasy. It's like behind a set of lockers. You can go in and it feels like you're stepping back in time.
Yeah.
And so we're just hanging out in there talking about celebrating all the wonderful connections we'd made.
Yeah.
I was pregnant at the time, so we're not even drinking. We're just like, we get to live this fun life.
Right.
And we end up connecting with someone who is telling us that there's a trade show coming up on a boat. It's called Toy Boat and is setting sail to the Bahamas in a couple of weeks. And was
Wow.
able to get us tickets to get on it. So I told my husband, I'm like, I have to be there. So we book tickets, we get this incredible rate to get on this cruise to go to the Bahamas and have this little special baby moon together.
Right.
And we end up signing up for this lip sync competition on
Oh my
the boat.
God.
And so we ended up singing Like a Virgin by Madonna with my big belly, I'm rubbing. And we just had such a blast. So much
I could just picture that. That's hilarious. And Sunflower, you didn't go on the toy boat?
Oh no, I 100% won the toy boat.
You went
From
too.
the
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
moment in the speakeasy when we
Yeah.
found out about it,
Uh-huh.
we were both like, we're in.
We're
Like,
going.
what do we need to do to get on the
Yes.
boat,
Right. You're
And
right.
it was through Astra, which is the American specialty toy industry
Oh,
retailer.
association,
association. Okay.
and they are the
Mhm.
absolute best. And so getting to like be a part of their creation with this toy boat trade show
Yeah.
was so magical, and they feel like family, and it was just we were all in. And of course, like, you can tell how fun they are because they do lip syncs for every trade show. You can sign up and do a lip sync.
Yeah.
So we didn't know till we were on the boat. And then when we found out they had a lip sync, we're like, you gotta let us in, put us on the schedule. Like, we'll figure it out. And so they did. And we just, we
Yeah.
laughed so hard. It was so much fun.
I loved like a virgin with your big belly. That's a picture. That's fantastic. I love that.
My
You know what
God.
I love too is that even though this is an early childhood business podcast, we don't talk a lot about toys. Like we've had some mindfulness conversations and different resources and, but we playground equipment, but we haven't really dug into the world of toys. And these are all beautifully made, either mindful or extra creative, toys. Toys isn't necessarily even the best word for it. It's like childhood inspirations of things that children can play with that expand their world, And so it's cool to get the inside scoop on the toy boat and all of that, because I have no idea that even existed. So that's cool. Thank you for
It's
that.
a whole world. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a
Yeah,
lot of cool
because
things going on out there.
totally there's people I'm sure that are listening to this podcast that also want to launch toys or different things. And so they'll get a lot out of that as well. So that's very cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pick choose my card here. I always use my left hand because it's more intuitive.
Ooh.
I'm told. I picked the rooster. I am important like the rooster.
Woo! Cock-a-doodle-doo!
Fantastic.
I'm going to read you a little excerpt. And I think what's interesting is in our deck, there are a few animals that people kind of shy away from at times. Like they get the cow, and they're like, "You call me a cow?" No, I'm generous like the cow. Like, there's so much private and beauty within each of these animals. So
yes.
Did you know the rooster crows between 12 and 15 times a day, sending an important message to those around him each time? Many farmers appreciate the rooster's morning crow and use it as an alarm clock. Our feisty feathered friend crows a few minutes before the sun rises each morning when he begins his daily hunt for food. The rooster usually stands somewhere high, so his song travels farther and marks his territory. Roosters also squawk throughout the day to warn hens of potential danger or to share when he finds food. The rooster also protects the hens and their chicks by attacking predators and by waiting to eat last to make sure all the chickens stay healthy. The rooster has an important message to share about using our voice to help others. This is so you. So every story is followed by a play section, and they're really fun. You're going to get a kick out of this. Practice exercising your big voice by speaking up for yourself. When ordering at a restaurant or telling others about your feelings, use a strong voice. What you have to say is important. You can practice this at home by standing in front of the mirror and proclaiming, "I am important like the rooster." So
Love it.
Yeah, so there's just so many different practices in here to help kids build the confidence to show up and love who they are.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool that I got one about using my voice here on this podcast. How about it, ladies?
There are no winky dinks.
No.
None.
Thank you, Divine Guidance. That's fantastic. Since this is, a line of products and toys, not just the cards, tell us more about other inspirations that you've either already developed or that you're working on that you can share.
Our brains are like popcorn when we get together. We're just like popping up all these fun ideas. Since we live on opposite sides of the country, whenever we get to be together, it feels like this slumber party of just like exciting brainstorms. It's hard for us to go to sleep sometimes.
Fantastic. I'm sure.
Sure. So some of the things that we've already begun creating started with the I Can Be Anything deck. So we have spinoffs. We have decals that you can utilize on mirrors or windows or tubs. We have posters to really bring home that connection between art and empowering words that can be put in classrooms or in bedrooms. And then also we just launched, and then also I should say the pendants, which feature some of the different animals and are made for kids on an adjustable hemp cord, has a beautiful opaline crystal that's just adds extra magic to the necklace. And then we just launched our mystical creature mystery pack, which have the same idea of different, I don't know if you can see this. different empowering.
Disappearing. The phoenix is burning up.
Rise! The mystical creatures that have other affirmations, but really bring in some more of that fun, magical element. So I make my own waves like the mermaid. I let my imagination take flight like Pegasus. I'm an earth ally like the fairy. I release control and celebrate the journey like Ganesha. So we have 37 of these different mystical creatures. Some of them actually have gold and holographic elements. And we encourage kids to trade with their friends to create a whole set. So they come in packs of 3. And these just got released about a month ago. So we got to do a lot of the artwork on these and really tune into some more like some higher level concepts that even as adults we're all still working through. So this has just been a ton of fun for us to be working on recently.
Love it. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and each pack is a mystery. So it's gamified. So you don't know what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows for this game to unfold, and it's just so fun. It's so fun to like not like, blind bag, to not know what you're gonna get, and then to open it and oh my gosh, I got one of those rare cards. Like it's a blast.
So let's talk about your mission. This is what really inspired me to bring you on the podcast, because Yannick reached out to me. So I'm in a newer, the group has been around forever. Yannick Silver founded Mavericks in 2007 or 8. I've been following that group all this time, and I finally joined in 2023. And that's where I met these amazing ladies and got my first card pull, hanging out at the farm. So he wrote me an email and said, you guys have a really cool mission, which is actually similar to my company's mission. Our CCSC mission at Child Care Success is to impact the lives of 1 million children positively through the improved quality and business practices of preschool childcare, daycare in this country, actually globally. And so your mission similarly is to positively impact the mental health of 1 billion children with a B. You're thinking a little bigger than we were, which is fantastic. So tell us more about this mission. How did it evolve? What were you inspired by to come to this mission?
Yeah, well, it's obviously a whale of a mission.
It is.
And we know that we're dreaming big.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe that it's accessible, because when you impact one child's life, they impact other children in their life. So it really does ripple out. And we've been brainstorming so many different ways of how we can reach this goal. And, one of the ways is like we're working on a curriculum right now to be in schools districts. And so we know that when this curriculum gets into classrooms, like now, instead of the deck going home to one family who has 2 children, now we're having teachers as part of helping spread the mission through maybe a class of 20 kids. And so, yeah, this feels like one of the most important missions we can have, because this is our future. The children are, these youngest generations, they become adults. And if we can impact them into becoming heart-centered, like compassionate, adults that feel good about themselves and love themselves. And I think that when we can cultivate self-love, we have so much more capacity to love our communities, to love our planet, and it sort of ripples out. It's like the trifecta, right? Love ourselves, love our community, love the planet, and it's a monumental impact. And so I love that we share such powerful missions, and I'm sure that when you hit the goal, or did you already hit the goal?
Yeah, we hit it. We hit it last year.
So, I mean, now you're just gonna keep raising it up, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the impact never stops. Like especially when you have a passion and you have a goal and a focus, it we get to keep coming back to that, right? And the power of intention and the power of attention that we can create. I believe we can move mountains.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I love these shared visions, and it's important that we're really supporting the kids.
Yes, 100%. um, let's talk about business challenges. Diving in, you guys are new entrepreneurs, coming from either a mindfulness or teaching background, which ironically is what we do at Childcare Success. We help people who come from an education background be better business owners because they don't come to those skills naturally, right? So whatever you want to do and be excellent at, you have to surround yourself with tools and experts and a community that will help you. So in your mission to impact 1 billion children, and you guys are newer entrepreneurs, what's one or two of the big challenges that you faced? And maybe the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. So Sunflower and I had both started other businesses and had some experiences with, dipping our toes into the business world, and having each other to rely on has been really beneficial in continuing to move forward and stay grounded in our practices, and um, just continue to have forward momentum. But we both have lives and happening in other parts of the country in different time zones. And inevitably, yeah, there are some times where it's hard to make sure that we're on the same page about something, or where we find ourselves standing on in different places against an issue. And so,
Mm-hmm.
one thing I think that's really helped us to communicate clearly has been using something called NVC, which is nonviolent communication. And being able to communicate in a compassionate way where we're neutrally sharing our feelings and our beliefs about something, and being receptive, not getting defensive, but being able to really hear the other person and recognize, why is this important to you? Where is this coming from? And how can we both work towards a cooperative resolution, has helped us to, I think, tackle some really difficult conversations and still feel really united and excited about what we're doing, and continue to, yeah, navigate all the things that come with owning a business.
So I'm fascinated with this. I'm not familiar with this platform or philosophy called NVC, which I'm fascinated about. So what are how did you dig into this method of communicating and enhance your communication skills with each other? Was it a book? Is there a podcast on it? Is there a website? Like, what? Give us some resources about this. This is very cool.
Yeah, so it's so funny because it our friend, Alden, so basically, I have a friend named Alden. He was actually just calling when we started talking about NVC, so his ears must have been ringing, like, I don't believe in coincidence again, so, like, he's the one who brought me into the NVC world,
Okay.
and I had heard he had told me about it and how much it had impacted his life. He received the tools at, like, age 12, and
Hmm.
so I consider him a master. He doesn't want that title, but I'm like, "You're
Yeah.
a master." But, when I'm always wanting to better my relationships and connections and be able to communicate with the people I love and beyond, and so I said to him one day, I was like, "Hey, I'm so interested in this NVC thing and how you've shared it's transformed your life. Would you want to come over for dinner and sort of do a little class with my husband and I?" And so he came over, and what he shared with us, so it's structured. So there's a whole structure
Hmm.
to it, and the basis is feelings and needs. Okay? And as a society, we haven't really been brought up to have the languaging around our feelings and understand that our big emotions are connected to needs, to deep needs,
Hmm.
precious unmet needs.
Hmm.
And so there was just like something really clicked for that first class, and I became obsessed because I was like, this makes so much sense and it's so simple. And
Hmm.
my husband and I already were able to take what we learned over dinner and apply it to our conversations. And it was making a difference in being able to feel seen and heard. It was just transforming and we already have a fabulous relationship, but it was just like taking it to that next level. And I could see where like I could almost like replay situations of like things that I had said and then translating it through the NVC lens and see how it actually the whole idea is bringing people together and creating closeness instead of separation. And NVC talks a lot about like they say we've been brought up in a jackal culture. So we are speaking to each other like jackals. And there's a lot of times we're saying like maybe we're saying like I feel betrayed or I feel attacked. And those aren't feelings. And so if you use a phrase like that, you're immediately putting the person you're talking to on the defensive because like
Right.
you're basically like saying, "Oh, you attacked me."
You're attacking me. Right.
Right. And so it's just like these slight understandings that allow for really beautiful conversation to transpire. And
Mhm.
you're going to have to check out, I'll send you the podcast.
Yeah.
You can buy the book. It
Cool.
it has changed my life. It has changed our life because we utilize it in our conversations. And yeah, you're able to just feel compassionate and understand where the person's coming from because you see the feeling and you hear the feeling and you hear the need and it's just easy to relate.
Right. Cool. I love that.
It's so cool. It's the coolest. I use it with literally everything I do.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely put that in my toolbox. And you sure this guy Alden can't come and do a session for us in front of a couple hundred people? Is he not going to like
Uh,
that?
I think I think he would love that.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
I'm getting a cool vibe about him.
I
So,
have him come to my house and we do workshops here, and I mean, the feedback I get is like, "Whoa, that was life-changing."
yeah,
Like, I'm experiencing my communication with people differently now. I'm able to have harder conversations because the truth is we all like, communication is the thing that we do all the time.
yeah.
And so to not have had communication tools shared with us
Mhm.
historically in school and to kind of grow up not knowing how to effectively communicate,
Yes.
like I really believe that if NVC was taught to us as young children, our world would be so much more harmonious.
Yes. And that's what I'm feeling as well, even though I don't know that much about it yet. But like, because we have different social, emotional wellness tools and curriculums and things that a lot of folks are teaching and adopting in the early childhood space. But this sounds different and deeper and more pure or just more yeah, I really, really am liking the sound of this. So I'll find out all the resources and I'll bring them back to the podcast, y'all. We might have to have Alden come back or we can dive into this together. This is very, very cool because the biggest thing that we're experiencing that's causing issues in preschools is disruptive behaviors and children with challenging behaviors. So if we can give children, especially with these behaviors, better tools for communicating how they feel, it will change it will change the world, you know? So I love that. Very, very cool. Oh, I'm so excited.
Me too.
So I know.
Keep spreading it. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
get the word out.
So what one or two people for each of you have had the biggest impact on your lives so far? And why? And you each can just take a turn and share.
I'll jump in. I feel like this flows. I was just thinking, listening to Sunflower share. So I actually haven't taken the NVC course, but I have learned so much about myself and about how I engage with the world through Sunflower. As you can hear and recognize, I'm sure she's such a magnetizing person that like you just want to be around. She's so interesting and so full of inspiration and love. And so as you can tell, words of affirmation are our jam over here all day long. We're like, you made it. No, you're amazing. But the deep appreciation I feel for being connected with Sunflower. When we first started our company, we'd only met one time in life, like face to face. But I just felt so drawn to
Wow.
creating something. And so, yeah, like head over heels in love with this amazing human. She is someone that has just left a trail of positivity in her wake and just continues to be so inspiring and lift others up and just spread the light, which just feels so good to be around her. So you're
Yeah.
an incredibly important person in my life.
Aw,
Why so many things that we
Marissa.
do.
isn't that a sweet thing? That,
So
yeah,
mine.
yeah, that's a lucky baby you've got in there.
Big time.
She's gonna love having you as a mama.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, thank you. That was sweet. I love you, Marissa. We're so in love as business partners. Like
Yeah.
we just it feels like a match made in heaven. Like
Yeah.
truly, which is such a blessing
Yeah.
when you talk about like two people coming together to create something. Like for us to love each other like sisters, like to get to play all these roles together and always show up with love and being on the same team. It is like one of the biggest blessings. And I
Yeah.
think it's going to be a huge reason why we continues to succeed and thrive because there's harmony between us and there's play and there's compassion and there's positive communication. And so like we are sturdy. We are like rocks for each other. And you know, a lot of businesses they fall apart because of the business relationships.
That's right.
So,
That's
yeah,
right.
I feel that I've got that one too. And I think my other one is my husband.
Yeah.
Uh, he's just an incredible human. I feel so supported by him because you know sometimes when you're starting a company like there's you know, might not be taking a paycheck. Like everything's going back into the business. And he's
That's
just
right.
been so supportive at this precious time that we're in, you know, and he's just he's my best friend. And he just yeah, I he's just incredible. And I think that one of the powerful things is we're both growth mindset. We have growth
Yeah.
mindset and so we grow together and we're always inspiring each other to evolve and become our best version.
Yes.
And we don't have like there's no drama between our relationship. Like I feel like so often I hear, you know, you got to work for it. It's got to be hard. Like that hasn't been my experience in this relationship. We've been together for 8 years. And
Right.
the fact that I'm not putting any energy into keeping the relationship together, or it's like we just we're on the same team and I know that I can pursue my passions and he supports me and believes in me and yeah, it's
Right.
really wonderful. It's been
That's
so
great.
wonderful for, you know, Little Luminaries because you know, there's times when we're like, okay, well, we're selling a ton, but we need to put it back to make the mystical creature packs, or like, you know, like funds are allocated towards expanding our company. And so, yeah,
100%. Love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Um, I want to just dive to where can people get these amazing products? What is your website? And how can people reach out and connect with you?
Absolutely. So we're all over all the social medias. We're on Instagram.
Okay.
But our website is littleluminaries.com.
All right.
So all of our mindfulness products are on there. And we actually have created a coupon code for you and your listeners.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So you can get 25% off with the coupon code ROCKSTAR, which is what you
Hey.
are.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And as we continue to jump to the next creation, we have a lot of ideas for different expansion packs that we want to jump into. So instead of just our mystical creatures, we're so excited to focus on the dinosaur pack or the underwater deep sea pack or who knows what else will take flight. And then working on our curriculum, I think that's something that's going to be really exciting for some of your listeners to stay tuned to. Really combining the work that is involved in utilizing NVC in a child palatable way, and really focusing on building that community. So using Classroom Circle, using morning meeting times to establish a community of trust within a group of children. It's kind of next on our horizon, at least.
Love that.
And of course, we've got Instagram. I mean, who doesn't have Instagram?
Right.
So, Little Luminaries, and we're always posting.
Okay, cool.
Sharing.
All right.
Resharing.
Yeah. So go to the gram, Little Luminaries, and then use coupon code Rockstar at littleluminaries.com to get 25% off your order and pick up some of these tools, guys. Your kids in your programs are going to have a blast with it. And stay tuned for curriculum and all sorts of new cool stuff. Anything else that you want to share? Do you want to talk about anything else you're looking forward to in the coming year, and or any final thoughts for our listeners?
Obviously, be coming through.
Yeah, I feel like one thing that we've been tuning into is, Marissa's got her 2 daughters at home, and I'm about to have a daughter, and we're really excited about being moms. And there's so much inspiration there from getting to guide your young one, your little luminary on the path. And I think that it also makes it even more important. Like it's like already it was so important to us to support the kids, but like now that I have a daughter coming here in March, like I'm so excited to get to show up for her and to get to share these tools with her as she evolves and like observe the way that it impacts who she is. And yeah, Marissa, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's beautifully stated. I think, yeah, we're just looking for collaboration all the time, and continuing to lift one another up. So if you know of anyone who is doing similar things and who wants to get in touch, we are really excited about partnering with nonprofits and getting decks into the hands of kids that might not be able to access them. We're excited about giving back to organizations that are helping with sustainability missions. So reach out. We'd love to be in touch.
Yeah. So anyone that's listening to this podcast that has similar missions or knows people that want to connect and network with these 2 amazing ladies at littleluminaries.com, reach out, or you can probably DM them on Instagram or what have you. And let's make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
I think we can cock-a-doodle-do it.
Yeah. Woo! This is super cool. And I'm gonna get you to connect me with Alden, and I would love to bring NVC to the stage of some of the things that we do. We do smaller events with our mastermind groups, which are usually around 300 people in the audience. And then we have our Big Daddy show in the fall. Our summit has about 1,300 people in the audience.
Wow.
So talk about putting up
impactful. Yeah.
A little pebble in the pond, and the ripples just formed on this podcast, which is very, very cool. Yeah.
Kris, we
good.
are so grateful that you had us on here, and
yeah,
I just feel so good to connect with you, especially where we share such powerful aligned missions. And I am excited to see the ways this continues to unfold.
So am I. Very, very excited. And we are using our voice like the rooster.
Woo-hoo!
So here we go. All right, ladies. Thank you so much. Love you, ladies. And thanks for taking the time to be on the podcast today. So much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, audience, my amazing listeners. Thanks for following me and taking this content and actioning it out in the world. I get so much feedback on the podcast, and I just want to thank y'all so much for taking the time and being an amazing group of humans. I couldn't feel more blessed. So this is another Child Care Rockstar Radio, and we will talk to y'all next time. Take care and God bless. I hope you liked this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. If you did, please share it with someone you know and help spread the word to your friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, learn more about how to grow your business and make more income with our brand new free quiz, the What's My Number One Income Killer quiz, exclusively for preschool and childcare owners. Take the quiz today at childcarequiz.com to discover what your number one income killer is and how to solve it. Take care and God bless.